What's up, guys? I'm Supr. I'm the head coach of the North American League champion Rainbow Six Siege team. We're coming off of a quarterfinal appearance at the last major, and I thought I'd throw together some rounds and the timeouts at the last major. So all the rounds, all the timeouts you're going to hear are live at the event. And I thought it'd be interesting just to check them out, even if we don't always win the rounds. I still think it's interesting to hear. So this first time out we're going to go with is an SSG game on day one of the major. We were up 6-3 and it's 6-6 going into overtime. So you might say, well, why didn't you call a timeout earlier? So at 6-3, we lost a 2v2 that went to 6-4. At 6-4, we lost a 1v1 that went to 6-5. Typically, as a coach, you only get one timeout in a game. You don't want to burn a timeout where it feels like it's still very competitive. You still like the team is still very engaged. People are still problem solving. You're still in these rounds. Nothing's really going wrong. Kind of just a fight doesn't go your way here or there. And that's how I felt it was going. But at the 6-5 round, Ashen makes a ridiculous play, runs through the lobby. If you watch the major, you know what I'm talking about. And I think he gets a 3K. And it was just a round that at that point I felt like, yeah, let's talk about it. So going into this timeout, which by the way, after the timeout, we had a tech pause, which was, it's kind of crappy, especially calling kind of a rush out of a timeout. But what we end up doing, or as I say, is I noticed that coming out of their timeout, they started playing more aggressive. They were kind of letting their nuts hang, as SSG likes to say. And they're playing for flanks. They're playing for C4s under. They got a couple kills that way. And I felt like we could take advantage of that and just go direct, try to be fast, rush the site, essentially. And that's the call we end up making. And as you'll see in this round, even though we lose the round, I think it's clearly the right call. Because if you notice, the only reason this round is it goes down to a 2v2. And the only reason it even gets that close is because Fultz is able to vault out, run through the site with the C4 in hand and throw it, right? Typically, we would have had somebody swing that door and kill Fultz, and then that's an easy round for us. Just unfortunately, in this situation, during the course of the round, we didn't make that decision. But I still think this was the right play. I still think it was the right call. I think this is a round we normally win. And even though we lose it, I still think it's worth taking a look at. So let's check out this first round against SSG on day one.
Absolutely beautiful stuff. Going to overtime just like they did back in the NAL.
I called a timeout, guys. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. We're back on attack here. They're not going to go basement again, right? They're going to go CEO or open or maybe the archive. If you notice, they've been playing for a lot of like C4s under, a lot of flanking now, right? So they see that's working. They're going to continue to try to do it. If we see all these guys off site, guys, don't be afraid to take advantage of that, right? Just make sure we're aware of the C4s under. If we don't, it's fine. Just make sure we're working together because we're getting caught off a little bit around the map, right? They're getting aggressive off info or flanks, and that's how they're getting picks. They're not doing anything special, right?
I think we look to hit quick if they're playing like that more, like because they're extended offsite quite a bit with it. Like if they do that, if they do anything similar like that to the CO, especially if they run the Echo again, bro, I literally think we hit top fast.
If they run Mozzie or Ruby Castle again, I'm gonna get off Lars because I literally can't.
I think like even knock lobby pop and just like looking to walk red or something, because if we just literally hit fast, this guy's on cams and then there's a guy like in the middle of nowhere.
I have drone back. Okay.
So here for that. Right, Sonics are on the attacking side, SSG are on the defense. We're going to start things off in staff and open. Now, you spoke earlier on about the success that we were seeing more for the Sonics than it was for SSG on those middle floor sites. It's where there was a good few battles back and forth. We had the dance around verticals. It's where the attackers often got a little bit held up, which is where there'll be a little bit of concern, I expect, for Sonics here as well. Again, I think going fast is really the play here. Look to be disruptive. Not have one man, of course, going off entirely by himself. That isn't what I'm trying to say here, but much more about moving at pace and trying to catch the other side off guard is where they'll find their wins. Please, for the love of God, do not let Ashen, on the echo of all operators, manage to get a backstab around ATMs again. Let's get into it then. We move into the action phase. Open area will be the first site that we're going to see coming out of SSG. We've got Canadian on the blitz again. I've got to say, not really had too much of an impact, the Shields, in this game. We've said it throughout the day, to be honest. Tournament-wide, really. The teams seem to be doing better at dealing with them. But look at this, straight on into sight. The rush is coming, and they try to react to it, but too slowly. Rexon manages to get a kill onto Forest. However, SSG starts standing up. This is a bloodbath. It's a brawl. It's going either way, but the Nitro finds the the planter takes down the shield. 2v2. That's not bad. I mean, we've been here before. It was Fault's in this situation previously, if you recall. Managed to win out the...
Okay, so in these next two clips, they're both against G2, and I'll be honest, we 14-2 G2. This first map, Clubhouse, we won 7-0, and the second map, we won 7-1 or 7-2. Both the timeouts you're going to hear from me, we actually hadn't lost a round yet, so obviously when you're being that dominant, you don't really have a lot you want to say. You kind of just want to keep pumping the team up, maybe reinforcing some things you've talked about. One thing we thought about G2 during this tournament is they're very lick-hitty, which means they don't really know how to play normal Siege. So if you don't let them get fast picks or fast plays, they're going to really struggle to execute, which they pretty much did the entire series. You'll hear me mention something about making sure we keep eyes on the hallway for this Clubhouse round, because the first round on Clubhouse, the guy walked up the hall, got 2 kills. They did lose the round, and that was something they also did in practice that we had against them before the tournament even began. And then going on to that cafe, my timeout there was honestly just like a hype them up, make sure we don't lose focus, just because I think at that point we were up 11-0 rounds, I want to say. Doesn't mean the game's over. It means that we still need to focus. And, you know, take a little shot at Alamau, because why not? That's always fun. So here is our timeout against Clubhouse against G2 and Cafe against G2, where we won the match 2-0, 14-2 round count.
Shit, listen to me. We were in a shit position that round because we're going so urgent. I get the defaults up, all that.
What
Go.
They call timeout, guys. To Troy's point, just
we were
relax.
calling so urgent. There's 3 people coming for me, and we're all yelling over top of me, bro.
Everybody relax, right? I know they have the default up. It's okay, but we just have to respect the urgency of the round.
Bring the tone down.
Listen, keep these up. Keep racking the defense up, guys. If you haven't noticed, they're very slow to execute. Even with opening pick, they take to the very last second. Just make them work the round. They don't know how to do it if they can't cheese you, right?
Yes.
Don't let them get the cheese stuff going. They can't finish the rounds. Make them prove they can finish the round. For this basement that we're going back to, in the scrim, they did the same thing they just did, where he walked up the hall. Late round, make sure we have eyes on the hallway or walking in a back armory, okay?
Heard that, Drill Sergeant.
Let's go.
And I might just go Malusi.
What are we doing, default?
Okay, run the aggro again, though. Yeah.
That was the round that they did not even get an opening kill. So in all 3 rounds, at some various point, G2 have been in a somewhat winnable position. Never more than when you're up 5-3 to start the round, but how is Surf even allowed to get into that position to deny after getting all 3 at the end? Sonics have got all 3 to start. Yeah, okay, we can open the whole line. Back down to basement we go.
I also love that from Canadian, and again, it's just a reflection of the amount of experience he has at this level. Every single time there's a hype moment, he lets his team, you know, have their time, couple of seconds to celebrate, and then bang, refocus. Let's settle, let's relax, let's continue this run. There's no point getting too overexcited 3 rounds into a potential 3 mapper. And now it's just all about replicating that success over the course of the remaining defensive rounds now on offer. On the other side of the coin for G2, it's about extracting value from that tactical timeout. They've had an opportunity to quickly reflect on what has taken place over the last few rounds and how they want to now reapproach each of these objectives. We'll see what kind of counterpunches they may now be able to land. It's critical, though, that they remain competitive. We are going to see a rather similar defensive composition this time around from Sonics here on basement. Surf, though, has dropped the Warden in exchange for Malusi. Critically, though, Ambi is seemingly going to play this aggressive mainstairs position once more for smoke and casting our minds back. Last time, he was able to stall out 2 minutes of the round before eventually falling. That round going on to not be converted, of course, by G2. So we'll see how they go about approaching it this time around. Similar vertical opportunities on offer once more with the Ram in play. And this Malusi utility already spotted out early could be a spanner thrown in the works here to just make that mainstairs push a little bit more challenging, operating under the assumption that Ambi is looking to hold it, and you can see the red outline. He most certainly is.
It's that perceived pressure now as well from Sonics onto G2. Oh yeah, from below, Blaz just looks so awkward, doesn't he, in that position? Takes a bit of damage, forced into kitchen, trying to get these Boogie Auto breaches down, open up the hallway floorboards, but Sonics are happy to play it from down below. Turkey on the Deimos only has the Malusi available, but Ambi lost his life. Not for the first time.
twice now in the opening 4 rounds. Ampy's been the opening death. Sonics are going to have to find a different avenue in finding a 4th round. But so far, they've been very versatile in doing so. Can they do it again? Nitrocell easily dealt with. Well, should be and will be. Rexon, though, captures Loira. And all Rexon can say in chat is lol. I mean, and he might get another one here. Doki's not careful. We've already seen Blaz get shot up through the floorboards as well. GT need to be very cautious of their positioning.
It's a really nasty Nitro that just thought out a bit of time and laid that seed of doubt for G2. So 4-4, minute on the clock. Triple wall exposed, but these mirror windows still offering a lot of value and backed up with those bandit batteries. A blue drop will be tough, a push down main will be a challenge. Maybe a kitchen drop will end up being the eventual play here for G2. But with at least one Nitro still up, easier said than done to execute.
And Doki's going for a drone in towards the blue side of the map. In 30 seconds, they've got to make a move. Moto hatch available, kitchen drop. I don't know if this is going to work. Uno with a flash prepped, ready. One in towards dirt. Surf crossing back in towards site. Time starting to go against G2 again. It's all too reminiscent of the opening round of this map. The drop from Uno, but he loses his life to Canadian, who stands strong inside of Dirt and Sonics with all the numbers. And no time really remaining at all for G2. Once again, their attackers just look, well, incompetent. I mean, this is what it's come down to. Alamau is just proning. I woke up this morning.
Mining could do, or no, which to that.
No, let's do.
I'm out again. Listen, 1 round at a time. Score still 0-0 until it hits 7. Right? Got to keep earning this shit. I don't really even have anything to say to us on our defenses. Keep making them earn the rounds. We don't give in to that cheese shit we know they want to do. Alamau's fucking dead silent right now. He can't call anything. Right? Make them earn this shit, guys. They can't do it.
Nope.
I think we do reading mirror. They didn't deal with any of the mirrors that last round. They just left them up. So I think I would be more comfortable doing the reading mirror because
Tactical timeout taken, rightfully so, because you're running out of chances, right? You can't allow this to even get to like 4-0 second map of an elimination game. It's 2-0. You lost 7-0 on the opening map. Time to really talk things over. Like, guys, we got to lock in because otherwise we're going home today. We're going home in 40 minutes potentially with the rate that this series is going in terms of its pacing. I thought they had the right idea to try and maybe be more aggressive in the early portion of the round, but Sonics were just switched on. Great top hold. They were ready for it. And I do wonder as well in terms of the longevity of this tournament for Sonics. They've got a long path, don't get me wrong, to phase 3, but you can go on a run. You can go on a run, you can build for momentum, and this could be the catalyst for them to maybe go on said run.
Very early tactical timeout from G2. They know that their tournament and their potential position in the top 16 for global standings is under serious threat.
Uno and Blaz are 1-9 in the series right now, both of them.
Yeah.
Serve is 12-1. If you want to look at a more positive light, he is playing tremendously. 2-0, and actually still 2-0 on the entry, and still 100% cost. What a performance from Surf so far in this series overall. Sonics as a team, though, have looked tremendous, leaving no room whatsoever for G2 to find avenues of success as we now head over to the more conventional site of Reading and Fireplace for the 3rd round. It will be a similar hold up above, of course, for Sonics. Loira, G2, do they go fast in towards Reading? Still barricaded off, but got good pillar control, and indeed the pacing has been picked up. Uno in towards Train, and he does have the kit. Must win this fight, though. But a Canadian just prone, catches out Doki. They're not pushing together. They're not playing together. Oh, come on, Canadian get another one. No, shut down by Blaz.
Wow.
Guys, you had a 3-on-1 against Canadian. He still finds the kill. Uno in mining with the diffuser. Certainly better pacing from G2, but Sonics have got the numbers advantage.
Every play that they look to execute just looks so sketchy. There's a lack of confidence for G2 at the moment.
You know what this G2
back.
team needs? They need like a virtue to just get some clutch moments. Really feeling a missing presence on this roster. Well, Uno understands that Site might be open, but the ability to get into site isn't open. He's playing this patiently. They've got the time.
Well, still 2 stack, in fact 3 stack on the 3rd floor from Sonics. Surely G2 need to go up and contest. Looking to flood site will be a real challenge.
Uno's going to go in on the repel though. Alamau caught by Ambi. Uno going to get the plant out. No, denied. He too will be dead. Blaz by himself in mining. This round's done. It's about to be a 3-0 start, and that tactical timeout for G2 will not warrant a round win.
Okay, so on this next set of timeouts is against Elevate, and they were actually a little bit more difficult, at least for the first map on Labs. So we had just lost a round on Labs on command to make it 5-5. Labs was our map pick. And I felt like we weren't playing it correctly versus how they were playing. Elevate, interestingly enough, kind of sabotaged themselves out of timeouts. So they were using a blitz, and it was helping them clear fast, and they were being pretty quick and efficient, clearing fast against them. Out of this timeout, they dropped the blitz, actually. And then going on to Chalet, I even say in the timeout, I don't think they'll go back to basement. They had already lost it twice, and they just lost basement before the timeout. And then they actually go back to basement out of their own timeout and lose it again. So what you'll hear me say in that timeout actually applies to what I noticed going into the kitchen round. But yeah, so this first round that you're going to see against Elevate on Labs, I wanted Ambi to get off the Mira because I didn't think it was really doing anything. Elevate are a team that like to play fast. And I thought we needed to bring more denial to make them waste time late in the rounds because they, again, I think we're a team that had trouble finishing the rounds. So we wanted to bring the Goyo to slow them down, make them have to think about what they were going to do, which worked. And then going into Chalet, we thought that they would go to Kitchen. And you'll hear me say Master. Luckily, the team understood what I was saying. I meant to say Kitchen, but they were hard holding Master the first round when we attacked Kitchen. And that's why I was saying we can lick hit into sight around what they were holding, which we end up doing, and you'll see in that timeout. So here are the 2 timeouts against Elevate where we won 2-0 maps, 14-6 round counts.
Just run basement. Yep, run basement. If you want to play anything different there, Dan, I think.
Okay, guys, listen, I call timeout. I just want us to take a deep breath and relax a little bit, okay? They're using the blitz every round, and they're trying to get fast plays, but they're still indecisive at the end of these rounds, right? So when we go top, I think we run the Goyo, make them push into us. When we go basement, just be patient and wait for them to do stuff. They've been trying to clear. They're just going to use the blitz to clear. Just everybody make sure we're working together, not talking over each other. Take a deep breath, guys. We're fine. We're in all of these rounds. We just don't need to make any more plays than we need to, right?
Yeah. Honestly,
Let's go, boys.
I think can we go top instead? Go top instead. Run the Goyo like you said.
See through the thick of it, and they're doing a very good job, man. They're doing a very good job indeed. Hopefully, this timeout is something that is conducive towards a successful defense coming up. But as of right now, they really have to try and find a way to put Elevate at a serious disadvantage. Because as of right now, if it's close in the round at all, even if it's 1 or 2 man differential in between the two, Elevate is still more than willing and capable of pulling that round back across the line, especially when it comes to the frag department.
Only round where Elevate have not started off with the lead was round 8, and you still had Ape immediately run into the site alongside the rest of his team. They call the increase in pace and get a 3K to bring that round back and for Elevate to actually close it out. It's really that round 10 right there is the first time you've had an attack truly go right for Elevate. You actually start with opening the breach. You wait for Sonics maybe to over-peek or over-rotate. They do. You get the 5v4. You immediately push in. Don't allow them time to reset.
Yeah, they're going to look to try and deal with that a little bit. It's not going to be very direct, but it will be utility-driven here, Carter. Look at this delay that we've got. We've got Legion for traps. We've got Mute to try and keep those drones away as well as probably some walls locked up. You've got Bandit clearly for the IT breach, and then Smoke and Goyo to deny so much space and so much time away from Elevate. It hopefully breaks their back. That's what Sonics is looking to do here. Canadians down low.
there is some potential for him to get a nitro cell kill here. You can see the levels to this. Some of you might be like, why is Mute all the way downstairs right now? The bomb site's not even on the mid floor. Canadian is guaranteeing that somebody works their way into barrels via that window. He tosses a nitro cell up on that ceiling and blows up Buck or whoever is in that position. The only person that really would more than likely be moved over there right now is probably Grim, but he also has the secondary EMPs as well, so he's going to be necessary for this IT wall. This might not end up coming to be a valid thing here for Canadian at the moment.
Hard breach charge goes out, but they're able to get one and then pick up the Selma for the other. The impact EMP is just not working. It's so hard to juggle these things, and we sent one more hard breach charge to the gods. A secondary utility sacrifice on the top floor at the moment from Elevate. You lose. Oh
everything.
My!
It's all gone.
That's all gone. I mean, I wanna say maybe we had a Selma used on the connector wall, because surely you didn't just chuck all 3 Selmas at that electrified wall right there. You had to have, yeah, I was about to say, there. Did open up the connector wall. It's like, let's just check. Let's be safe. A really good bandit trick right there. No C4 from Canadian necessary.
Now, this is where the shotguns need to stand tall. You see smoke, you see Mute. We all know exactly what we need to see next. These M590s have got to hold down these doors. They've got to make it super difficult for them to try and work in. And yeah, we even got the Super Shorty on Legion, so he can play close and personal too. Ambi will get the first pick. We'll have one of those Goyo canisters pop to delay things out even further. This strategy from Sonics is going so swimmingly.
I was a bit worried. Seeing them bring that Goyo, I think it's a good idea, but how would they do if Elevate still had a strong early round, but with wasting so much time on that IT breach? But I think more importantly, the fact that they've been able to get this 5v3, get control of the diffuser as well, that is what makes this round for the Sonics. That is what gives them that lead.
Timeout.
Where were you at to hit pop?
I just ran it through fucking front door down main. I just fucking ran down main.
He was inside. That's where he was.
Dude, I literally saw a guy flanking. I was like, they're just gonna wait for him. I'm just running down.
I fucking
Okay, guys. They call timeout. We're doing great. Keep working these rounds. They might try to get aggressive. They might try to spawn peaks. They're going to go master, probably. I don't think they're going to go back basement. They just lost it twice. When we see the clash, I think we can act like we're pushing that, but some of you should look for gaps in sight, because they're playing like they're basing it off of scrims where they think we're just going to send it into that clash. So look for gaps around sight, I think, because that last time when we did that solar shit, there were 3 people up there. There's only 1 guy in sight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's holding a C4 from my big window.
So, BZ, you should fucking sit solar windows and bait it, and I'm gonna go trophy window and hop in. And then Pablo, do you go west main or no?
I'll just go green.
No, I go
He
trophy window.
can go trophy, you can go west.
Into position, catch them off guard as the Maestro gets on camera. Rexon uses that as his opportunity, spots the feet through that little Selma hole in the breach on a long angle. Ape thinks he can outduel the ace. He should have thought differently. Pushes in a connector, and that'll be easy for Canadian to wrap up. 4-1 right now. This lead getting wider and wider for Sonics. An Elevate tactical timeout. Their re-strategy, their regroup, bearing nothing.
They've got it, man. They've got it in the bag. Sonics pulled the exact same strategy as we saw last time. A different play, a different face shown from Elevate, but still the same result. And the biggest thing is exactly what Carter talked about, guys. They did not deliver on their promise with the utility. Instead, what they try to do is they try and get aggressive with the guns. But Sonics are ready for that. That's the one thing that you always have to worry about with play like this and what SQ has been bringing to the table. They will indeed wait there as the Ancient One and just see how long it'll take for you to swing an angle. They do not want to try and push in on a 5 versus 5, guys. They want you to get antsy. They want you to swing, and that's when they get you. That's when a player like Swarf will just completely cut your head off, and that's a round going the way of the offense. We get it once again here out of the Sonics. These offenses here on Chalet are looking so nasty.
Especially the past couple. Yeah, those 2 1v1s in round 1 and round 3, but everything after that has been very quite good from the Sonics. So now for Kitchen and Dining, final site to attack, final site to defend. Only site, by the way, Elevate have actually been able to win so far. Sonics trying to go for a full clear of the top floor, and they were completely shut out, trying to repel in solar side. 2v5 extremely quick into the round within about a minute to a minute 20. So for Sonics to get a 5-1 half, a lead that takes a lot of effort to throw away. They've got to overcome those mistakes from the previous bout. Nice drone on top of the Wolf Head right now, spotting the Cade moving around the site and trophy as a whole.
Love that. Nice little discovery there. Rexon's going to start things off. He takes the fight straight up. What an absolute mad lad, dude. That's the site. That's the site. Everything else is upstairs. The Fink is going to get Canadian off the ground. It's hell in a handbasket, but Sonics are seeing a clear way through this.
I think there's a whole lot less vertical angles as well this go around than previously, at least based on some of the player POVs I saw from Rexon right there, but the diffuser not going down just yet. We've got a couple in some key spots. So maybe not a whole lot of vertical angles, but just a little bit.
Grixer does have that case. They're leaning towards kitchen right now. He's going to start the plant off. Will the verticality come into play? Where are these yokai drones?
There's one. It's about to step up.
Doesn't have time.
Oh no, it's got to fall down. It hits the cabinet on the way, and it's got no time to stick to the ceiling.
And now for my final set of timeouts against Liquid, who we also defeated 2-0. I believe it was 14-6 round count, I want to say. Maybe 14-5 round count. This first timeout is going to be on Clubhouse, where we had a lead and they had called timeout, but we kept clutching rounds. I think they had an advantage, maybe a 2-man advantage in 3 of the 4 rounds that were played. So I was trying to tell the team to play our life, make them actually have to do something to clear us, because we had been trying to, kind of be a little bit too aggressive, which we actually do. But as you'll see, we overdo it and we kind of stay too long. So they're very, very, very slow. And then they just kill all of us at once, because I think we didn't fall back really within the right time frame that we should have, which probably would have been out a minute 30 or so, especially against a team that struggles to execute. But luckily, once again, which kind of goes along with what I say in the timeout, which is kind of funny, is they can't finish rounds. They have a 2v4 that goes into, I think, a 1v4, and they lose it. So you're going to see that one, which is shout out to Liquid for that. And then the other one will be on Cafe, where it's kind of more of the same, where we have a lead. We're very close to finishing them out. I thought we were playing very well on this map, just reinforcing a couple of the things that you're saying of, hey, they're slow. We don't need to overdo anything. Make them prove they can do something. They haven't been able to do it yet. And we're very close to winning, because for us, this meant we would also qualify for SI. Don't think about that, because when you start looking ahead, that's when you start losing, right? You don't win until you win. So my timeout during their timeout was essentially to say, job's not finished, to quote Kobe Bryant, right? So you're going to see that, and let's get to it.
You looked me in the eyes.
But I did look you in the eye and say that, didn't I? It got personal about halfway through.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
You pussy, Dave.
On our defense, guys, these next 2 rounds, I think at the beginning of these rounds, don't do too much. We're giving them like 2-man advantages every round, and they still can't finish the rounds.
Yeah.
Just make them fucking do something, guys. These guys are slow. Even with 2-man advantages, they're ending the round at 0 every time. Make them work for the round, guys. We don't have to be crazy aggressive. If we play our spots, they have enough of a difficult time trying to clear us from that. Out of this timeout, we're gonna go Jim. The shields are banned, so be careful of like a ying down logic drop play here from them, okay?
Heard.
Let's run
go,
the regular
guys.
Gym for that. Run the
Let's
regular.
go,
Yo,
boys.
send these fuckers home, bro.
Together.
Troy, is this what you want me on Bandit?
Yeah, but you get to no.
1 round at a time,
You can go
guys.
tube. You can go tube. You can go
Okay,
tube.
let's get Pop.
Okay, let's go.
I'm
baby.
only
Give us a
giving
shot.
you the battery on B.
Sonics who are going to continue to double down with this playstyle.
You know what's funny? Not to twist the knife a little bit, but it feels kind of like that VP Chiefs game earlier.
Okay.
But I don't mean that as a joke. I mean that as an actual serious point, because you and I were watching that game. What was the big problem Chiefs had? It seemed they'd start out fine. They would have that early to mid-round was very successful, but what was tripping them up? It was that transition to the site. It was that conversion, and it was often in positions on this exact map, like close on Moto door or in Moto itself, where somebody had slipped in, gone unnoticed, and in this case, it's not as flashy as maybe it was from VP earlier. Maybe it's not even as low time, but Rexon slipping in, unnoticed, makes it a 4v3, and Sonics have been overperforming in enough gunfights that one kill, that difference between a 3v5 and a 3v4, actually becomes really, really winnable, especially when Surf decides to actually take that fight with Nesk inside of blue. That really, even ignoring the Rexon gunfight, that might be the big difference maker right there, because if Nesk is able to take blue, the site is in complete disarray.
Yeah. I think for me, Surf has been one of the more exciting players to watch at this event, and specifically this match in isolation. It's definitely had some good moments and rewarded accordingly with 6 kills thus far. And we'll see if he can continue to roll that momentum forward. We jump over to Gym Bedroom for round 5. And early signs from Liquid are that they may go for a bit more of a map clear this time around. Last time out, they were relying on a Maya flank into a triple stack jacuzzi, and it did fall flat. Unfortunately for Liquid, they are going to be playing straight into the room here from Sonics. You have Canadian over towards CC, actively tricking the breach. You also have both the Castle and the Legion of Ambi and Rexon respectively on this half of the map as well.
They haven't spotted that, though. They know somebody's actually tricking the wall because Lagonis just saw it, and then they had the drone spotting the guy red, and they spotted the Legion before all of that. So they do know that there is at least 2, but likely 3 players stacked on this side right now. We'll see how Liquid decide to react. They Deimos track one of them. Ambi, the player playing furthest down away from CCTV, once he gets that death mark, he immediately rotates back. He was on secret. There's nothing really Maya can do about that, so it's almost just kind of a waste of a death mark at that point. Not Maya's fault. But Ambi just in a good position that once he gets tracked, he can fall back and nullify that utility entirely. Sonics also now falling back to the setup overall. Red Stairs shield and cash hold. But, guys, we also saw in the Chiefs game earlier, got to be careful how long you hold that Red Stairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Canadian then to bolster his position in cash with those bandit batteries, and Rexon to help alongside, who will actually progress forward a little bit here and into a more aggressive position. Breach actively being held, though, at the moment from Liquid.
Actively being held. The Sonics defense, too. Thought maybe we'd see a complete reversion to a hold onto the site, but Sonics are defending cash like their lives depend on it. Another opening kill for Liquid, 5 in a row, but never quite a stark lead like that. Grixer will make it a little bit smaller, but just a little bit. It's been the 3v5s that Sonics have been able to work their way out of. That kill is important, but a 2v4, a 2v5 for the briefest of moments is a little bit of a different situation.
Surely from here, Liquid are able to convert the rotation to come through from the attack, but these Zoto canisters will prevent the wall from being opened up. Only 35 seconds on the clock. Grixer will have enough util.
He's still, yeah, I was about to say, he's still got all 3. I mean, I kind of appreciate Liquid's foresight almost, or at least the go-getter attitude, and we still want to open the jacuzzi wall. 30 seconds left, but it's also only 30 seconds left. The position a 2v4 can be most winnable are moments like this, but nobody's in a direct position to counter the gym plant. He's planning right on that hatch, though, and will think better of it. Rotates off. We did see somebody moving down below. That's Grixer with the C4. Rexon, the only one close to the site right now, and he's solo HP. Everybody from Liquid moving in for the kill, but we got to put this diffuser down. We've only got barely any time left. Oh, no! He just found the way through. He left behind you. Rexon! Almost performance for Grixer, bringing back around that Sonics were doing their best to throw away.
Keep it dialed. Yo, Dame, let that guy rock big there. Hey, heat check. That's what I'm saying. Hey, you're pussy. You got time.
I should have.
Okay, guys.
Let him rock. We get that bomb down, right?
Hey, they call
sir.
timeout. They've been playing the same way on these defenses every round. If you notice on club, they're just playing bunkered. They try to play off info, right? They're going to give us a lot of the map, so don't be afraid to just take map real estate on them. Okay? Just keep working this shit. You know these guys, their fucking mental right now is in the ground. Keep fucking pushing these guys. Be fearless. Be decisive. And just keep fucking forcing the fights because they're shaking. They're not winning a fucking fight.
We're better than them. Enough said. It's as simple
One
as that.
round, guys. Score is 0-0. 1 round at a time. It's not done till it's done. Keep fucking pushing. Work this fucking shit.
I peek somebody,
Look at
and
this
guess
shit.
what they're doing? Ambi, guess what they're doing when I peek them?
They're shitting?
They're shitting. They're shitting in the corner.
They're shit.
Pretend it is a brand new game. And it did feel very much like Sonics were Liquid and Liquid were Sonics in that round. As you mentioned, a lot of the plays that Liquid were making on the defense, they were catching Sonics off guard. It was really, really strong by Liquid just to get those kills over on Sonics. Say Sonics were trying their best to throw away. Really, the only reason that was they're throwing was Sonics were just a little surprisingly missing shots where they have been so clean this whole time. It's not a fault of theirs, of course, but I mean, you look at the scoreline. Surf obviously 9-3. I mean, we don't even need to talk about Surf at this point. But Grixer, second lowest rated player at the tournament so far, having an outstanding cafe. 11-3 at the moment, breaking double digits through that round. Also getting a 3K in the basement or the kitchen round earlier on. Grixer, most of his kills have really come from, hey, we are in danger of losing this round. So on Freezer, I peek, 3K, we win. Reading, I crouch behind the bookcase, peek, we win. That round, lurking upstairs at the Dokkaebi, able to get another multi-frag and get Sonics that third round. He has been the closer for the Sonics when things have seemed dark.
The blitz initially teased from Canadian here for the 8th round, but he repicks on to the Kali, and those Lancers should provide pretty good value into the lineup presented by Liquid. Most notably, the Castle and the Mirror combination. He could deal with that from range and help alleviate some of the pressure onto the other attackers who will be looking to get boots on the ground. Ambi as well with Ashe, and so those charges can be effective as well. It is a top floor extension from Liquid, as expected. As you can see, 3 outlines on the top floor. The first of the Lancers there from Canadian. Was it effective? Well, he jumps up and confirms that it, in fact, wasn't. Does need to be mindful of this swing here. Nesk in washrooms is looking to find an angle as Canadian struggles to open up the mirror.
You always got to be careful when you use those lances on a mirror that is placed inside. Of course, it's susceptible to a whole lot of things. This double mirror setup actually allowing Nesk, just seeing the edge of the Ashe. Takes a fight with her, but the mirror window is now cracked. As much as they have been struggling with the top white mirror window, the other one a little bit easier to find. But half the round is gone now, and Sonics have been almost entirely focused on that utility clear. It is a reading room defense. This is not the site. Sonics are starting to tunnel vision on this utility that is important, but ultimately is not the target. Drop down Skylight now. Reset swinging around. We'll find Rexon. He's got to be a bit careful as Canadian pushes up Whitehall, but it's Surf actually taking control of the Palace position, giving Sonics the lead.
60 seconds then on the clock. Ambi probably trying to find himself in this match. Only the 2 kills so far. As we see Liquid reposition accordingly. Sonics have been so good in gaining late round information throughout this match. 5 drones still remain as well, and that could be a difference maker for them in the round.
Absolutely. There's Dokkaebi call as well. We'll see what information they can find. Z-ping on the Cali. Canadian hard scoping for that kill, not letting Lagonis move an inch out of his line of sight. Grixer will move into train as a result of that information. As Maya starts fighting back, it's important that Sonics do not let up off the gas. Grixer 11-3 right now, who has been very good in these situations where the intel from Liquid are lapsing. When there are some gaps in their defense, Canadian moving to the opposite side. Stunned by the Yokai, but will make it in sight. Starts putting this diffuser down. Grixer holding red, but will lose an important engagement to Palu. With a slow peak.
So as you see, guys, over the course of all of those timeouts, we won every single one following the timeout, whether it was mine or the other teams, besides the SSG round, and I honestly think we should have won that round. But I think the thing to notice is they're not always calling some crazy strat. They're not always calling some crazy adaptation. And sure, I've had timeouts, some of these where I call a little something, some where in the past I've called more, right? But you have to be able to adjust and feel out your team and know your team well enough to know what they need, right? I have fucking Troy Canadian on my team. Most of the time, I don't have to call stuff for him. I can help him, try to guide it, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I will make a call because he can't see everything that I do standing behind everyone. But you just have to trust your team a lot of the time to problem solve and just help guide them towards it, right? Because if you're doing the thinking for them, they're not going to be thinking for themselves. And then over the course of a match or a round, maybe they're not going to notice some of the things they would naturally. And you can live and die by that a little bit, but I think that we have smart enough players. I think we're coached up well enough, and I think we understand the game well enough that we can manage these situations for ourselves a lot of the time. And then, you know, in some of these, it's just like a rah-rah, like, let's fucking go. Keep the team hype. Because vibes are important. You don't want Debbie Downers. You don't want people getting too excited. You don't want people getting too low, especially over the course of best of threes. You need people to stay focused, stay even keel. So for me, I like to think that I can do a mix of everything, right? As Harvey knows, you know, I can be motivating, or I try to be motivating. I can be that leadership figure, or I can try to be. And if we need strategic help, if we need guidance on how to play out the rounds, I can do that. I just like to be well-rounded and help the team be as well-rounded as they can be. And, you know, I hope that continues to help us improve and eventually capture a championship outside of North America. So I'm going to continue to do content like this. Obviously, as I said, the next tournament we'll be playing at is 6 Invitational, so keep an eye out for us there. If you happen to be there and run into me, make sure you say hi. I don't bite unless you stink, then I'll smack you in the face. Not really, but don't smell. Okay, well, I will see you guys for the next one. Make sure you follow.